This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. Students, teachers, and school administrators have dealt with a lot of challenges since the start of the pandemic. Tonight, though, we get a look at how one school division is helping kids get back to normal. Alana Cole reports.
At General Byng School, this September meant back to class, and in many ways, back to normal. The school year started without pandemic restrictions.
It's been so wonderful to have kids play together, be together, interact with one another.
Sarah Allam is a support services teacher at the kindergarten to grade 9 school. She says with pandemic disruptions came challenges, including equal access to technology at home during remote learning, not being able to connect in person with teachers and other students. Allam's role also includes working with students who need a little extra help with schoolwork. Julie Cordova is with the Pembina Trail School Division. She says last year's provincial assessments for grades 3 and 4 show about 5.5% less students were meeting reading and numeracy expectations compared to the 2019-2020 assessment. She says the grade 7 numeracy results were similar. Grade 8 literacy showed no real change.
There are some gaps, and with that, we've been putting in a number of strategies in place to respond to the needs of students.
Cordova says while she can't point to one factor that caused those gaps, work to close them includes focusing on mental health and wellness, new math resources, and last year, an additional $1 million spent on literacy resources. Cordova says grades 3 and 4 provincial assessments for this school year start this month. Alana Cole, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Members of the Interlake Reserve's Tribal Council are calling a provincial fund a slap in the face. Earlier this month, the province announced a $15.9 million economic development fund. It was in connection to the $600 million Lake St. Martin, Lake Manitoba flood channel project. That fund will be shared among 39 communities.
It's a drop in the bucket with what they owe us. They can keep their $15 million. As far as I'm concerned, for Lake Manitoba, I won't be applying for a penny of that because I don't think that I deserve to have one slice of bread while these other communities are getting crumbs.
The province says the fund is to support growth in the whole area, separate from the channel built. The Manitoba Nurses Union is raising alarm tonight about a critical nursing shortage at yet another hospital. The union says 13 nurses have quit their jobs at Grace Hospital since the start of summer. President Darlene Jackson says it is especially dangerous in the intensive care unit, where the nurse-to-patient ratio should be 1-to-1, but recently she says it's been 1-to-3.
Those really are the sickest patients in the hospital, and often they need one-to-one monitoring. So it's a little bit, it's worrying for nurses to know that their workload is that heavy and that they are responsible for that type of patient in those numbers.
The WRHA says it is working to fill staffing shortages through call-outs, recruitment, and by having executive members take shifts. We are 2 weeks away from the civic election in Manitoba. Candidates in the race to be Winnipeg's next mayor were out on the campaign trail again today. Cameron McLean has the latest.
Don Woodstock says he would turn surpluses at the city's water and waste department into rebates for Winnipeggers. He wants to send checks out to ratepayers, similar to MPI rebates, rather than putting surpluses back into general revenue. The 2022 budget projects a surplus of $17 million.
Scott Gillingham released a list of ways that he thinks he can improve the relationship between the city and provincial governments. For example, he would seek a deal to link provincial operating grants to growth in PST revenue or GDP.
And Rana Bakari says she would offer free bike registration and make it mandatory for all new bike purchases. She also said she would partner with a free bike tracking app to deter theft. Cameron McLean, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Well, also today, Kevin Klein says he wants to make the Winnipeg Police Service more efficient. Police currently pay the city for renting property and leasing vehicles. Klein says police could save money by managing properties and leasing vehicles themselves.
Today, city departments are working against us.
And Jenny Makaluk released this animated video today. It summarizes key points of her platform. She calls the video a unique approach to connecting with voters. A reminder that CBC Manitoba will host a live Winnipeg mayoral debate 1 week from today on October the 19th. That is 1 week before the civic election. You can watch it here on CBC television starting at 6 p.m. It will also air on CBC Radio 1 and online. The group that runs Brandon's homeless shelter says it is at a crisis point. There are too many people needing a place to sleep and not enough beds. Samaritan House Ministries held an emergency meeting last night to try and figure out how to manage. Executive Director Barb McNish says the shelter has served close to 400 unique clients so far this year. That is the highest number ever.
When we saw the numbers and looked at the contacts that we had, maybe not staying, but the contacts we had, some of them were 55, and we're like, oh, if they need to stay, we're in trouble.
The shelter is the only overnight space for adults in Brandon who are experiencing homelessness. We have an update on a story we brought you here last night. A Winnipeg woman has reunited a hero with 2 bravery medals.
Seeing the look on his face and being able to hug a man that went into a home to rescue 6 kids, we felt more honored, I'm sure, than he did getting those awards.
Karina Paykosh found the 2 medals that belonged to Leslie Blanchette while helping clean a friend's house. He was given the medals in 1999 after rescuing 6 kids from a burning house in Elmwood. She has since met with Blanchette to give him his medals. He says he was grateful to get them back. Here is a look outside this evening. We have some weather alerts in place, and it is snowing in parts of the province this evening. Meteorologist John Sauder has the details when we come back.
This weather update is brought to you by Capital Ford Lincoln. 22 model clear out is on now.
A few weather alerts to tell you about tonight. A wind warning across the north. These areas up around Tuduli Lake and Brochet, whereas where we're going to see wind gusts in excess of 90 kilometers per hour heading through tonight and early tomorrow. Here we've got a weather advisory for winter road, winter travel advisory, really, and then a snow squall watch. That's the white area closer to the lake. It's a snow squall warning. This is up to 10 centimeters of lake effect snow thanks to this low pressure system that is circulating all of that cold wind into southern Manitoba and central parts of the province. There you see the snow possible into Thursday morning out on that east side of Lake Winnipeg. Here in the south and in the Red River Valley, we'll see on and off showers mixed with flurries right through the day on Thursday, and it looks like these north winds and northwest winds will continue into Friday as well, with more snow on the way or flurries at least until Friday and Saturday. Low tonight, temperature tonight around 1. The low will be in the morning at 0 with a chance of flurries. Gusty northwest winds continuing through the day. Again, a high of only 4. And we're not really warming up a whole lot with highs of 6 and 7 on Friday and Saturday, and then a cooler 4, but drying out on Sunday.
So a coat and mitts kind of day tomorrow. That's your late news for this Wednesday. Thank you for being with us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.